So a few
Awesome.
months ago, we had a tune come through the uploader that just literally stopped every staff member at Amazing Radio in their tracks. We were so obsessed with this tune called "Sober" that came through the uploader from an artist that's been uploading to for a couple of years to us. Sipho, how are you? And thanks for sending us banging tunes. Where the hell did "Sober" come from? Because what a vibe!
I'm all good, Shell. I'm all good. Yeah, thank you. I think Sober Sober's it was an accident actually. It was kind of recording off of the back of another song, like tracking bass and doing different things with Joe. And then I kind of just carried on playing after the song ended, and then I just said, "We have this thing. Let's like add stuff to it and put a breakbeat on it." And then we just kind of went from there, and then we ended up with the song. And I'm kind of like obsessed with like strings and just things that parallel, and so no, not even things that parallel, things that oppose each other. So I think I wanted to kind of big break with the strings and just have something unique and dramatic that can sit in so many different spaces. So I think it just kind of came from just like as you do, just playing around with the elements.
Yeah, dramatic, definitely. I love the fact that you don't feel hemmed in by like genre. Your sound feels really expansive and that you can dip into multi-genres in every track as well.
I'm 23. I'm Gen Z. The internet is like at my hands constantly. So like with like the like immense amounts of information that I have, how can I not like pick things up from all over the place and like just put them in? I think we're not in a place or a time where it really is about like a particular genre, a particular type of particular types of textures and feels. It's just what comes together, and like we're kind of seeing that in so many like new artists in my generation.
I grew up in Leicestershire, but was often in Coventry and Birmingham, down Broad Street and kind of
Yeah.
Digbeth Way, trying to see new music. Have you found the scene there really supportive to you? What has really helped you kind of find your voice?
Oh yeah, 1,000% supportive. Like, I think just so many friends, so many people that are willing to just kind of contribute and help me out and just give me opportunities and chances, even to just kind of be in the room. Like a lot of like the neighborhood collective, and just kind of all the little creative friends I have around, and like where I work, with like Miles, who does Foxdale, and my friend Tyson, who does Corrupt Dynasty, and everyone. It's just all of the different kind of creative ventures. We just have places to kind of sit down and talk and conceptualize and just feel sometimes, because sometimes it is just loads of conversations about, dude, like look how much we've done in it. Like we're there, but we're not there, but we're there, but we're not there, and we're like, oh, like we're just like so close to like breaking through to this thing we really want to do. So I think it's just having those spaces to have those conversations at the minimum that's kind of like really kept us all going, I guess.
I mean, what age were you when you found your voice and kind of how did it happen?
I think it was kind of just like through like primary school and stuff, and then just doing singing bits here and there, and then learning how to like write songs, like really terrible songs, and then kind of just constantly moving forward from there, and I guess constantly like picking away at stuff.
Yeah, what about your family? Did they know there was something in there for you if they helped you on your way?
I'm from Zimbabwe, so I kind of always had the kind of typical African parent thing in my head. My parents are like quite young, so they're quite open to a lot of things. And my mom always said like as long as like you guys are like happy and like you're okay at the end of the day, like that's all that matters. But um my parents kind of knew I was doing stuff, but I never really talked about it. So up until I actually started doing stuff with like Dirty Hit and like being on the radio and they're hearing stuff, my parents I'd tell them about stuff and they're like, oh, like that's nice, that's cool. I'd be like, oh, mom, I'm going to a show. And then she'd be like, oh, just stay safe, come back. And then I think it was kind of gradually kind of realizing, oh, like there are people like me. There's like Little Sims. There's Michael Kiwanuka. There's all these people like who come from similar places to us, and are doing this thing. And they're like, oh, like this actually makes sense now. So I think that's when it was like, oh, like this is happening. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, basically. I think that's the thing with most of my friends. Like, their parents still, some of them still to this day, their parents don't understand what they do, but they just know like they're like somewhere else in another city, just kind of living there, doing things. And then I think there will come a point where I guess it makes sense to them. Even now, I guess for my parents, it's still kind of they're still kind of trying to make sense of everything too. You get money
So,
for that? You know what I mean?
yeah, do you get paid for that? Can you make a living off that? Oh, only too true.
Yeah.
I mean, what artists, when you were growing up and you were getting into tunes, what kind of artists, really kind of got you motivated in the music industry?
I think there were just so many different examples, I guess, because it was like obviously like being like 12, 13, a lot of Odd Future, Tyler the Creator, very much like the ethos, the vibe. And I think it was kind of the first example for all of us of like people that could just get online and just make stuff and be whoever they wanted to be and make it happen. So I think it was that. And then obviously their inspirations was like Roy Ayers and all of the different really like deep cuts and stuff. Um and even like I think for me, I guess my start in kind of like making projects was like Etta Bond actually when she was like putting out her projects with Raf Riley and everything, and I was like, oh, like let me make one of those an EP, and then just going from there and constantly opening up and expanding your knowledge. Tyler, Frank, Solange, James Blake, and I think especially like that 2013 time when it's like there were so many new different sounds and vibes coming out of like nowhere, and yeah, it just keeps like developing.
There's an album coming. You've hooked up with Dirty Hit as well. I mean, legendary record label. How did that come about? Did it blow your mind when it happened?
Because I was at BIM for a year, and then there was a showcase, and that's when I met Chris Fraser, my current A&R from Dirty Hit, and all I was told was, oh yeah, to showcase this guy's coming from this label, and they're looking for singers. So, and I'd already kind of I'd finished making my first EP, and God said I just kind of like made that my gap year. So then I was like, oh, let me get a couple people I know together, and let's like practice these songs so I can play them for this and for like an assessment I had as well. So we've like come into this thing. I've played him one song. We've sat down and I've kind of gone, so like, who are you? And then we've kind of just like gone from there and talked about things. And um, yeah, I think they were like very enthusiastic about getting us on board with stuff. Um, and yeah, like it was pretty. It was I kind of learned what it all was as we were going along because I wasn't even planning to like sign or anything. But yeah, we kind of just got to that point, and it's kind of been awesome to have such a great team, like you know, on board with us.
So brand new single. Like I've just had the first listen to it and I was like, whoa, this is super slick. Like, tell us about the new single. And also the co-write. You've co-written it with a couple of legends as well, haven't you?
That once again another accident, just full of accidents. I am. So it was. I guess I want to start it off at the Ivan Novellos. I was with PRS at the Ivan Novello Awards. I was invited to the after party, and I'm just like doing my thing, being like a kid, like astonished by everything around me. We're like on a rooftop in like Mayfair, just like drinks everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, amazing. And then I see in the side of my eye, look, it's Paul Epworth. Oh my gosh. So I go up to him like, you're Paul Epworth, right? He's like, yeah, you're Sipho. I'm like, oh my gosh, like awesome. We should get in. Yeah, sure. Here's my number. And then we kind of just went from there. And me, him, and Joe, who like, co-produced this whole album with me, we just kind of got in and Paul comes in and we just start jamming out. Then eventually, as what tends to happen is I'll pick up a bass or something, you play a little groove, and then we just kind of work around that and it just kind of started building into the song we have now and it is a bit of like a massive fever dream thing because I think at that point the album was actually done, and then Chris was like, "Yeah, like let's just like put this on the album." So we like finished the song and we got it to where it is.
So lock it in, no regrets is
Yeah,
yeah, a hell of a force to be reckoned with out this week. And also the album's out imminently. Why prayers and paranoia?
I think it was. It's just kind of felt like I guess there is a bit of like a quasi narrative to the actual track list itself, but I think it was just kind of me and my manager Kieran just sitting down and trying to think of things, and then we kind of just took some of the names off the track list, honestly, and we were like, "This feels like the real core and the turning point of the record and the meaning of the songs in the record. So I think it was just like the perfect kind of core, and also alliteration.
I love your energy though, because it feels like it's like kismet. You know, what will be will be. Do you feel like, the unexpected twists and turns in the music industry are kind of going to give you opportunities over the next few years?
I always talk to my friends about like all different. We all talk about all different kinds of stuff, and I remember my mate Tom being like, "Sipho, like you like doing anything else wouldn't make any sense." And I kind of think back because I was meant to do so many other different things, but like he's like, you doing something else would not make sense. So I feel like this is kind of what I'm doing. And I had the conversation with Jamie as well, and he was just like, "You're not someone that like just wants to do this. Like you have to do this." So I'm kind of here and I'm going with what's coming with it, but I'm just gonna, just keep your head down and keep doing the work, I guess, until further notice.
And of course, celebrations. There's going to be a big tour to help celebrate the album release.
Oh,
Where are you off to?
from the 15th to the 23rd, it is Dublin, Glasgow, Manchester, Bristol, Brighton, Birmingham, and London. Right now, that's what we're talking about right now.
Where are you most psyched about going?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna see where we get to, but I guess I'm kind of bummed that we're doing Dublin on the first night because Joseph Rogers, he's actually like he's a Dubliner, so he's always like, dude, like you need to go to Dublin. But unfortunately, because it's the first night of the tour, I can't even really like misbehave. I just have to like, oh no, I'm singing tomorrow, so like I have to be rested and do all the modest professional stuff. So like I'll get to see it, but I don't get to be it. Do you know what I mean?
But you will be totally warmed up by the final date, which is a homecoming show in Birmingham at Mama Ru's, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anything special lined up for that one?
We'll see.
Okay. And before I let you go, I'm still intrigued. Why Sipo?
It's my name.
Seriously, legit.
It's my whole name. Yeah, my first
So
name.
just your authentic self through and through, which we love.
Try my best. Try my best.